Someone you love just went to federal prison. Maybe the sentence came down last week. Maybe they self-surrender next month. Either way, you're standing in a system nobody handed you a manual for. You probably have 100 questions right now, and nobody is handing you the answers. Where are they being held? How do you even talk to them? Can you visit? And how do you get on the list? How do they get money for the basics, like phone calls and food? That's what we're walking through today, step by step. How to find them, how to talk to them, how to visit, and how to send money. Plus, the simple mistakes that quietly cut families off, and how to avoid every one of them. Right now, about 154,000 people are in the federal prison system. Every one of them has a family on the outside trying to figure out the same things you are. The federal system is its own world. It's run by the Bureau of Prisons, the BOP. Its rules are different from any county jail or state prison you may have dealt with before. Get the process right and you stay connected. Miss a step, like skipping the visitor approval form, and you can show up to a facility and be turned away at the door. To do almost anything, you need 2 pieces of information: your loved one's full committed name and their federal register number. The register number is an 8-digit number the BOP assigns to every person in its custody. It never changes, even if they transfer facilities. Write it down and keep it somewhere safe, because you'll use it constantly. To visit, you'll need to be on an approved visiting list, and your loved one starts that process, not you. We'll cover exactly how that works in a minute. Let's start with finding them. Go to the BOP's website and use the Inmate Locator. You can search by name or by register number. It covers people in federal custody from 1982 to today. This tells you which facility holds them and gives you their register number. Next, get on the visiting list. Your loved one requests a visitor form, lists you, and mails it to you. You fill it out, send it back to the prison, and wait for the background check to clear. Only after you're approved can you schedule a visit. To talk by phone, you don't call them. They call you. Federal inmates use a monitored phone system called True Phone. Calls are recorded, and your number has to be on their approved contact list first. For email, the BOP uses a system called TrueLinks. On the outside, you sign up for a free CoreLinks account. Messages are screened, attachments aren't allowed, and there's a delay in both directions. It is not instant, and it is not private. One thing first. Wait until your loved one has actually arrived at their BOP facility before you send any money. Once they're there, the fastest options are Western Union and MoneyGram. A mailed deposit to the BOP's national lockbox is the backup. Now let's talk about what all of this takes and what it costs. Getting on the visiting list takes time. The background check can run several weeks, so start the moment your loved one sends the form. Phone calls are usually limited to 300 minutes a month, and each call cuts off at 15 minutes. Calls are paid from their own account, and the per-minute rate can change, so check the current rate before you add money. Some people who take part in, or are waitlisted for, eligible First Step Act programs may get free monthly minutes. Email is different. There's no simple monthly message cap, but they pay for the time they spend reading and writing through TrueLinks. Money you send goes on to their commissary account. They use it to buy phone time, email time, food, and basic supplies. Funds sent by Western Union or MoneyGram during the day usually post within 2 to 4 hours. Money mailed to the national lockbox takes longer. Now, the mistakes that hurt families the most. The first mistake is assuming the prison will keep you in the loop. It often won't, even if your loved one is transferred to another facility or ends up in the hospital. Be proactive and make sure they list you as their emergency contact in writing early. The second is sending money the wrong way. Do not mail cash or a personal check straight to the facility. It gets rejected or delayed. Use one of the approved deposit channels every time. The third is leaving information off the deposit or the envelope. Every letter and every deposit must include the full committed name and the exact register number. Leave it off, and it may never reach them. The fourth is talking about the case on the phone or in email. Everything except properly set up legal calls is monitored and recorded. Anything you say can be used. Keep case conversations between your loved one and their attorney. The fifth is showing up to visit before you're approved. The visiting list is not first come at the door. You must be cleared in advance or you'll be turned away. So if you take one step today, take this one. Go to the BOP Inmate Locator, find your loved one, and write down their register number. Everything else builds from there. We've put together a free step-by-step guide on everything we covered today. You can download it at govclarity.net. Completely free, no email required. The link is also in the description below. You're not the first family to walk this road, and you don't have to figure it out alone.
Thank you for watching GovClarity. Remember, you can find our complete guide and all official links in the More section. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Remember to hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. We're here to make government procedures easier for you every step of the way.